Hello, my friends. How are you today? I hope you're all well and reeling from whatever kind of small Star Trek things you might have seen recently. We are here today to break down the teaser that has just dropped for Strange New Worlds Season 2. A big thank you to our wonderful editor, Tom Roberts-Finn, who this was flung at this morning. I mean, the poor man was barely out of bed before we threw it at him, because of course the lovely Chris is somewhere locked in a basement peeing into mason jars trying to get through the ups and downs for today. We have a little bit to fly through, so thank you everyone. Let's get going. Okay, how cool was this trailer? I think it's setting us up for what looks like another really fun series. We have got the return, of course, of Rebecca Romijn. We have number one is back in this season and seems to be back in quite a substantial way. There is one shot of what appears to be her court-martial, and there's that little bell gets wrong, and also, spoiler, if you flip the picture upside down, it literally says court-martial. So it's her court-martial. And I'm assuming we're going to get this like episode 1. There was a bit of thought about, well, look, why would you spoil in the teaser that, you know, when your big finale last season was, oh, she's been arrested for being a Leary in genetic engineering, and then she's in all of this trailer. I think because why belabor it? We know she's going to be in it, and also we're excited for her to be in it. So for me, it's less about does she get back on the ship, because obviously she does. It's about, are there compromises that need to be made? And you know, there's obviously a lot of fun still to go, because we see her bouncing off the other characters really well. Obviously, she's not holding any grudges against La'an, because we see them having a bit of fun together as well. And I am really, really happy to see that in this trailer. We also get a little bit more of Carol Kane, who is going to be playing Chief Engineer Pelia. I will say I'm still not quite over the loss of Hemmer, but I'm very excited to see Carol Kane. She is so much fun in shows like The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. She's also an Academy Award nominated actress. I'm looking forward to seeing what she brings. We know that Equality of Mercy, you know, showed us a possible 10 years on, and Scotty was on the ship at that point. There's nothing to suggest he won't be in the series in this season, but I'd say, I mean, I'm not looking for him, if that makes sense. I'm looking forward to just seeing what she brings. We get no dialogue in this teaser, so I reckon they might be holding that off for the next teaser. Now, we get a good bit of Erica Ortegas in this teaser, which I'm very happy about, because I think probably one of my biggest peeves about season 1 was that it seemed like all of the other characters got their point of view episode except her. It's already been confirmed that she is definitely getting her point of view episode this season. We see her interacting with Mbenga, we see her really undergoing some fancy flying, firing phasers and taking the ship through an asteroid. That's a bit cool. Now, we see her in casual wear with Sam, Kirk, Uhura and Chapel in, you know, this Enterprise's version of 10 Forward. Also, she's involved in scenes that I'm going to come back to as well, that show, once again, this show is pushing the visual envelope. Star Trek has massively benefited, in my belief, from the advancements of computer-generated imagery, because as we go further out into the universe, obviously we're seeing more than, with all of the love and respect in my body, the sets you could put in a Hollywood basement. Now, you know I say that with love. It's just, it's lovely. There's that scene where you have Ortegas, Uhura and Chapel standing in that psychedelic light show, and I just thought, I cannot wait for that scene, whatever the context is. It's things like that that have me, again, really excited for this show. She's also the one who gets to turn to Spock and go, so what's your thing? You know, everyone in the chair has their thing. What is it? Before we go on, I've seen some discourse about this online, that people are getting fed up with this. I think it's fun. That's just me personally. I like that, because we know everyone has their thing. I'm cool with hanging a lampshade on that. What do you think? We then hear the latest iteration of this, and to say I laughed out loud, we get to zoom in on Spock. I would like the ship to go now. I snorted. I absolutely snorted laughing. That was brilliant. Just bringing us to Spock in this trailer. He is back and fun and having a good time. He's there playing as Lute. Now, we do see him at one point where himself and Chapel seem to be drifting in space from what looks like a fairly decapitated Constitution class. We don't know if this is, you know, some sort of alternate Enterprise. We also don't necessarily know this is a Constitution class. For example, remember the Peregrine class from last season? It's effectively a small Connie. Did see a couple of Gorn ships there. Might come back to that in a moment. But we do see Spock having a drink with some new friends. The Klingons are appearing in Season 2 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And not only that, but we've got bumpy four-headed Klingons as well. Now listen, before people come at us with, but the Klingons in the original series had smooth foreheads, Enterprise already established that yes, because of the virus, some of the Klingons absolutely had smooth foreheads, some didn't. It's up to you whether this is absolutely canon breaking or not. For me, personally, I'm just delighted to see Klingons back. And there is, you can see shades of the Discovery Klingon, you know, inspiration as well. If you look at those shoulder pads these warriors are rocking, I mean, it's very T'Kuvma and L'Rell type costume, but it's also heavily inspired by the original series. You've got the sash that was originally based on a burlap sap, which I think is hilarious. Burlap sap, excuse me. No, hang on. Burlap sack. Third time's the charm. And also, as someone pointed out on Twitter as well, you see they've got those belt buckles that they wore in the original series. I'm just curious to see if they'll be made out of bubble wrap, like the original ones were. We get a gorgeous shot as well of the revamped D7 that was shown in Discovery, and I'm really happy about this for two reasons. One is I think it's a gorgeous update to the design, and two is I bought a model of that when it came out. I've been waiting for it to come back again. We get some lovely, lovely planetary shots. There's one scene that looks very much like, ha, welcome to Pandora. There's also a Twitter user @_pundus_ seems to have found a reuse of the overhead shot of Talos 4, which was in Discovery. Now, this could just be a reuse of a CGI shot, or is this a tease that we're going to revisit this planet? Which we probably shouldn't, but sure listen, stranger things have happened. We get a planet that is set against a snowy landscape, and what, you know, if we look through Pike's eyeglass, potentially a Klingon outpost? Hard to tell, hard to tell. Gorn. We get Gorn. We see Gorn in this, and there's one that seems to be facing off against La'an, who I bet she's thrilled to see Gorn again. Yeah, big fan of the Gorn she is. If you remember, Memento Mori in Season 1 was easily the scariest episode of the season. Like, it's a deeply unsettling hour of television, and to see them back again, I want to see what they do with them to develop the story. We need to see how they get from the quadrupedal xenomorphs that we saw last season to the, look, we all know they're not going to go back to the original series version, but to a more bipedal, humanoid type of Gorn. Is it going to be there's just multiple versions, or is something going to happen? Is this something we'll see this season? I do not know. I am excited to find out. Now, speaking of La'an, she seems to be back full-time, which I'm delighted about as well, because I didn't like the idea of her leaving. I still have the question, La'an Noonien Singh, friend of Spock, and now appears to be as well, friend of James Kirk. Look, they've already said they're going to explain the name, so I'm just excited. Maybe they're going to wait for Spock and Kirk to be standing there together and explain it right there and then. But much more important, I'm just excited to have her back. Christina Chong is one of the highlights of Season 1. And when, of course, James Kirk beams on, so I'm assuming this is, you know, Lieutenant/Ensign Kirk. This would be quite, maybe not Ensign, maybe Lieutenant Kirk. I think this would be, in terms of years, this would be before the Farragut. So, and he's a lieutenant on the Farragut. So, probably he's just popping in for a hello. But, well, first of all, a little bit of attraction, because La'an apparently has an energy about her that's making number one sweat. Now, they must go through a little bit of time travel, right? Because they end up in modern day Canada in a Roots store. So this is from the set photos that were released last year. So I still remember the video we did where we spent ages theorizing, who was that? Was it Matt Decker? Was it? Only for 24 hours later it to be revealed to be Kirk. So that was fun. But yes, so this is a perfectly operational shop that is open right now. And it has apparently very confusing entrance and exit ways. Revolving doors? Madness, I tell you. As Kirk, you know, Lan goes, "Are you not familiar with revolving doors?" And Kirk goes, "I'm from space. I've already seen people giving out, 'No, you're not, you're from Iowa.'" Come on, just enjoy the show. I enjoyed the moment. I think it's going to be fun. And again, we get fish out of water stuff, and it's lovely to see, because we all know Kirk so well, it's nice to see him being on the back foot. So that's everything we have for our breakdown so far. Now, we still have a couple of weeks to go. June the 15th, this series is going to drop on Paramount Plus. So everyone, are you looking forward to it? Are you not looking forward to it? Let us know. Don't forget, you can catch us over on Twitter at Trek Culture. You can catch us on Instagram at Trek Culture YT. You can catch me at Sean Ferrick, and you can catch the lovely Tom at Tom C. Finn on Twitter as well. Folks, we're spoiled for choice when it comes to Star Trek. Spare a thought for the poor editors who have to turn all of this into actual footage. Yous are all lovely and awesome. Everyone, look after yourselves. Live long and prosper.